Hello everybody, hope you're doing fantastically well. It's Connor here and we are back with another One Leeds video. There's a fair few of you commenting on the environment at the minute. Some great comments when I think 2 or 3 people were saying it's the house of doors. It is really, but this is my office space. So yeah, apologies if it's a little bit different. Well, I don't know why I'm apologising, it is just different. You're going to have to get used to it, get over it. So yeah, we'll be putting some Leeds stuff here, there and everywhere, don't worry about that. But at the minute, it is what you get, and it is what it is, sorry. And I do quite like it when it's just blank. I don't know what that says about me, but yeah, the white walls, the beige walls, it's all right, it's okay. Nice contrast anyway. So yeah, let's get into today's Leeds United news. And I wanted to do a video specifically today. If you haven't checked out the January transfer window video, make sure you do that from yesterday. But what I wanted to do today was specifically talk about a player exiting, which I think symbolises a lot of what's going on at Leeds United right now. So, rumours, according to Fabrizio Romano today, are that Newcastle, Lille, Borussia Dortmund and Bayer Leverkusen are all monitoring the progress of one Cody Drameh. Wow. Now, we know Cody's a huge talent. We know that. We know that he hasn't been given first-team exposure enough. We know that when he has been thrown into the first team, it's been in circumstances which haven't been beneficial to his development. I hark back to losing at home last season 4-1 to Arsenal, where he was drafted in and had a torrid time against Martinelli. But aside from that, we then saw a loan spell to Cardiff City. We know how tough the Championship is. We saw a loan spell to Cardiff City where he was absolutely exceptional. Spoken to a couple of Cardiff journalists down there, and they were absolutely dumbfounded that he's not playing regularly in the Premier League. Now, I'm not saying that's right. That was their opinion. But for a player who went through a tough time at Leeds for me, and it's not been the smoothest ride when you look at our other youngsters, Sam Greenwood, Crysencio Somerville, other examples as well there. I think Cody's been through a fair few, turbulent spells when it comes to getting along with everything that's happening at Leeds and been in the manager's plans, even with the previous manager. But I think when there's talent there, you've got to expose it. And we've seen that really throughout this Leeds side with certain personnel. Sam Greenwood being a particular example at the minute. Crysencio Somerville, being an example as well. I don't know if Crysencio Somerville's been involved a little bit more, probably because Leeds are struggling with options there. Whereas I think Sam Greenwood is someone who was actively being pushed by Jesse Marsh. So yeah, I think more Crysencio Somerville has been a little bit more down to circumstance. But with Cody Drameh, I don't know what the club are doing. I really don't. And the worrying aspect for me is we've got a real talent there. Now, my question is, when we're looking at a player that's getting ahead of him in Luke Ayling, could Luke Ayling go to the Championship, in your opinion, for 6 months and get Player of the Year? No chance. I think he'd be struggling to get in a lot of Championship starting 11s right now. Maybe bottom half Championship, but absolutely no chance top 12. But yeah, he's coming on for Leeds United to try and secure the game, as we saw at the weekend. Now, this is no disparaging comment on Luke Ayling. It's just got to a point now where he's not good enough. There are several Leeds players who, for me, are not good enough. We can throw loads of them in there. And this isn't, chucking those individuals out to the wolves or whatever it is. It's just a fact of life. It's a fact of football, I used to play football at a decent level. Am I as good as what I was? No, not at all. Am I as good at certain things as I was when I was 18, 19, 20? No, I'm not. It's a fact of life, unfortunately. We all have to get on with that. Luke Ayling is not fit for Premier League football for me. And I think you see the exact same things with Liam Cooper. Exact same. But we give him this, and this is what I always talk about when it comes to the expectation of the club, which drip feeds down to the fans. Because these players have been on Leeds United's books for a while now, and we've not reinvested in those positions, and we've not evolved in those positions, fans seem to normalise it and think it's okay. It's okay that Liam Cooper's the captain of Leeds United and starting for Leeds because he comes on interviews and the club media team do 3-minute clips about him when he's coming back and spotlight him. That doesn't mean that he's good enough for the Premier League. And we've seen that. We've seen for about a month now Liam Cooper making defensive errors real defensive errors, but because he can play a crossfield ball and he headers a ball once every so often into the goal, that means that he's having good performances. It's just not true. When you look at the whole 90 minutes, when you contextualise it, we can see that he's not good enough. So obviously we spoke yesterday about the January transfer window and Leeds investing in a left back so we can move our best centre back to centre back. But it is symbolic, I think, maybe of what's going on with a couple of our young players. You know, when you're looking at Cody, I can completely understand why he's unhappy. And I can completely understand when you look at the calibre of clubs, Borussia Dortmund, Newcastle, whose project is just going to be getting bigger and bigger. They might see him as a contingency plan for Kieran Trippier. I mean, what a step up that is, because he's third on the list for Leeds, behind Luke Ayling. You know, Trippier's obviously getting a little bit older now. Would he rotate a little bit with Cody Drameh? Maybe more of a pathway for Cody Drameh into that Newcastle side. Borussia Dortmund, who have got a plethora of history of getting in young English players and developing them. Would we then see a scenario where Cody Drameh's coming back to a Premier League side, as Borussia Dortmund normally do? We're about to see it with Jude Bellingham, who's been out there now for a few years. And then would a Premier League club spend a lot of money on him? Probably. That's probably how it's going to go. Bayer Leverkusen, massive club in Germany. Lille, top club in French football, won the league recently. and he's third behind Luke Ayling. And even there's an argument of Rasmus Christensen at the minute, and I think we can have that chat, of course we can. But to be behind Luke Ayling in 2022 it's Jesse Marsch's problem and fault because he's picking the side, but it's also the club in terms of why these players are still around and are not looking, and we're not looking to transition these players into other clubs. I know it's not as simple as that, of course. There's contracts, there's clubs that need to be interested, I get that, but are Leeds actively trying to get these individuals out and replacing them with higher quality, with personalities, with character? Because that's another thing as well, getting rid of Ayling, Clicky, Bamford, Coops, all these players. Fans are worried that we're not going to, that's character's leaving the club, personality, leadership. I don't know if there's leaders, to be honest. There's personalities and characters, but you can invest in players who are quality and have great characters. Of course you can. An example that I'm thinking of, because we're talking about Newcastle, is someone like Dan Burn, someone like Sven Botman, who cost them 30 million, who've clearly got personality on the pitch. And they've replaced the old guard like Jamal Lascelles, who was the personality, the captain, the leader. They've replaced him. That was probably a big thing for Newcastle in terms of transitioning that captain out of the club. But you replace it with quality. You replace it with personality as well. Leeds need to start learning from other clubs. And this is what I always go on about when it's Sentiment FC. But I think, as I keep saying, it's almost symbolic of where we are at the moment as a club when Cody Drameh is behind Luke Ayling. If you're looking at it theoretically, Pascal Struijk is behind Liam Cooper. Leo Yelder is behind Liam Cooper. Now, I think Leo Yelder is a fantastic prospect. I'm not saying throw him into Premier League football straight away, but surely he should be getting a little bit more exposure. And you guys will you'll probably come back, and rightly so, and say to me, look, Connor, you're talking about youth. You're talking about this, that, and the other bit on the previous videos, plural. You've been saying we can't rely on youth. Yeah, but it's the right youth. It's the certain youth prospects who are quality. Leo Yelder, Pascal Struijk, Cody Drameh. These are quality youth prospects that can be filtered into the first team. Doesn't have to be the entire youth system filtered into the first team, because Leeds will neglect not going out in the transfer market and doing the right things. So for me, it would be a real damning result if Cody was to move on Cody was to move on in general. And I was talking in the summer about it being him and Rasmus battling it out. And could you turn around to me and say he would have done a worse job than Rasmus? Because I think Rasmus, we'll all be fair, it's taken him a while to acclimatise to the Premier League. But is Rasmus lighting the world up? Is he miles ahead of Cody Drameh? He's not. Is Luke Ayling ahead of him at all? No, he's not. And this is what I'm talking about when I keep using that word, but it's symbolic. It's representative of where the club is at right now. We have to go out there and do things in January, but we have to make sure in-house it's going the right way as well, because we could be stung by it later on, you know. And I think that's key. I think that's absolutely key. But yeah, Cody Drameh would be a real disappointment. But I'm interested to hear what you guys think about it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, we're going to be back tomorrow, everybody, with the debrief, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, make sure you tune in with that one. I've been moving around and doing all this sort of stuff for a while now, so it's been a bit chaotic, but we'll have Brownie back on as well on the Patreon account. We're going to be sorting some bits out this week. We're going to have some content back out there today. We're going to try get Generation Leeds back going as well. On top of that, everybody, yeah, if you want to get involved, just make sure you stick comments in the section below. Radrazani has just followed the One Leeds Fan Channel account, so shout out to you, Mr. Radrazani, if you're watching. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys will be thinking, oh, he's going to change his content now. It's not what I'm going to do. So yeah, shout out to everybody watching the video, and have a good day, and I'll see you in a bit.